Welcome to Scaling Leadership. In this video series, we will explore how great leaders multiply their impact by developing others instead of just doing the work themselves. Whether you are managing your first team or leading an organization, the principles we will cover will help you become a more effective leader. Many leaders face a critical challenge. As they grow, they become the bottleneck. You start as an individual contributor doing excellent work. Then you get promoted to lead a team. But instead of stepping back from the work, you keep doing it yourself while also trying to manage people. This creates two problems. First, you burn out because you are doing too much. Second, your team never develops because they are not taking on real responsibilities. The solution is to shift your mindset from being a doer to being an enabler of others. Leadership impact operates at three distinct levels. At level 1, you are an individual contributor. Your impact is limited to what you personally can accomplish. At level 2, you become a manager. Your impact grows because you multiply through your team. But here is the key: your team is still limited by your involvement. At level 3, you develop other leaders. Now your impact compounds because those leaders develop their own teams. This is true scaling. The shift from level 2 to level 3 requires a fundamental change in how you think about your role. The first step in scaling is recognizing that your job has changed. As an individual contributor, success meant doing excellent work. As a leader, success means enabling your team to do excellent work. This is harder than it sounds because you are probably really good at doing the work. You might even think nobody can do it as well as you can. But this belief is exactly what stops you from scaling. You need to shift from asking, "How do I do this?" to asking, "How do I help my team do this?" This shift unlocks everything else. Scaling requires building systems that work without you. Instead of being the only person who knows how to do something, document it. Create processes. Build frameworks. When your team depends on you for every decision, you cannot scale. When decisions can be made by your systems and frameworks, you suddenly have capacity for strategic work. Start by identifying your highest impact activities. These are things only you can do. Everything else should be systematized or delegated. This frees you up and develops your team. Delegation is not about getting things off your plate. Delegation is about developing your team. When you delegate, you're giving someone the opportunity to grow. This means sometimes the work takes longer or is done differently than you would do it. That is okay. The short-term cost of slower execution is worth the long-term benefit of having a capable team. Start by delegating smaller tasks with clear expectations. Provide feedback and support. As your team member builds confidence, gradually delegate larger responsibilities. This is how leaders develop. Scaling depends on creating a culture where people feel ownership. Ownership means people take responsibility for outcomes, not just activities. They think like leaders. To build this culture, be clear about the why behind decisions. Explain the bigger picture. Give people autonomy in how they work, not just what they work on. When mistakes happen, treat them as learning opportunities, not failures to punish. Celebrate when people take initiative. Over time, your team will start thinking like leaders and taking on bigger challenges without waiting for your direction. As you scale, your communication style must change. When you are managing a small team, you can have frequent one-on-one conversations. As you scale, you need to communicate through multiple channels and cascades. Be clear about your vision and strategy. Make sure it cascades down through the organization. Create forums for questions and feedback. Use storytelling to make your message memorable. When communication is clear, teams move together. When it is unclear, you get confusion and rework. Invest time in getting communication right. It is one of your highest leverage activities. You cannot scale what you cannot measure. Define the key metrics that show whether your organization is healthy and moving in the right direction. These should be leading indicators, not just lagging indicators. Leading indicators are things you control that predict future success. For example, employee development and engagement predict retention and performance. Track these metrics. Share them with your team. When metrics are transparent, people understand what success looks like and can align their work accordingly. Measurement also helps you identify problems early before they become big issues. Let us recap the 3 key takeaways from this series. First, scaling requires a fundamental mindset shift from doing the work to enabling others. This is not just about getting promoted. It is about changing how you operate. Second, systems and culture are your leverage. You cannot scale by cloning yourself. You have to build frameworks that work without your personal involvement. Third, develop other leaders intentionally. Your success as an organizational leader is measured by the leaders you develop, not by the work you do personally. Remember these 3 principles as you grow in your leadership journey. Scaling leadership is not about doing more. It is about amplifying your vision through the leaders you develop. Every person you develop becomes a multiplier of your impact. Every system you build scales your influence. Every culture you create sustains your legacy. The good news is you do not have to figure this all out at once. Start today with one decision, one delegation, one conversation that develops someone else's potential. That is how scaling begins.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.